Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
Goldylocks Productions presents the Inspiration from Spirit show with your host, Reverend Lea Chapin. The focus and goal for this show is to assist humanity in the awakening of a new level of consciousness that will bring peace to planet Earth.
Welcome, I'm Lea Chapin. Thank you for being here with me again today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. We've got through the summer solstice, so namaste to everyone. Today I want to talk about forgiveness. This is a topic that I know is a difficult one for many. For those who have my book, The 12 Master Teachings of Christ, I will be sharing the 6th lesson on forgiveness today. And tomorrow evening, I will be teaching my monthly Christ Master Teachings class, and that happens to coincide with the lesson of forgiveness tomorrow that I'll be teaching at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have any interest in joining me in my class, just text me or email me, leachapin@gmail.com, text 727-580-3016. If you'd like to be a part of those monthly classes, I teach those every month, going through the 12 lessons of the 12 Mastery Teachings. But today, the reason I wanted to talk about forgiveness was for a variety of reasons, simply because it's one of the hardest things that we're able to do here as humans, but because of the climate of what's happening in our planet at this time, and particularly in the United States of America, where we're having a lot of anger that's being emitted out with the Black Lives Matter movement. And just, again, a lot of anger that is being purified within each individual soul from their own psyche. That it's really important to begin to take a look at where that anger is coming from, to begin to take responsibility for ourselves, allow ourselves to feel what we need to feel. But it's really, really important to begin to navigate and bring peace into our lives at this time, because this is really how the world will heal. I know there's been a lot of injustice through history, through the course of time. And as Christ speaks in my book about his crucifixion and how his message really was about love and forgiveness, forgive them for they know not what they do, that we are here also to be the messengers, to be the examples of the Christ consciousness, to be the Christ light, and to begin to turn within and begin to forgive. So my story, which I'd like to share before I get into some of the teachings, is my story about how I was sexually abused as a child by my stepfather, and how that moment in time when I remembered it, because I had repressed that memory until I was 26 years old. I was working as a psychotherapist in a mental health center, and I knew there was something wrong with me. I knew that I couldn't trust men, and there was just something wrong, but I didn't know what it was. And I had that repressed memory. And so I went into therapy at the center that I worked in. And during that time in the center, I had a remembrance, had a flashback of one of the moments where I had been abused. And that was really, really, really traumatic for me in a variety of ways, because I did not know that would have happened. And I knew that I eventually had to forgive that to be able to heal, but didn't really know how to do that. So when I moved, and I was working in Fort Madison, Iowa at that time at a local mental health center, and then I moved to Florida. I needed to leave my family after that. I kind of ran away in a sense and moved to Florida, but really Florida is my home state in terms of that's my adopted home soul state. I feel very connected there. I love Florida. I'm originally from Illinois, but I left Illinois, went to Florida, and I worked in a mental health center. I met my good friend Cecilia Kelly, who just recently passed about 3 months ago. I met her in 1984, and she began to help me understand about forgiveness. She began to help me to understand that about reincarnation and about karma, about cause and effect, but simply she helped me to understand the principle of forgiveness, that as I held that anger, I held that resentment, I held those traumatic emotions within me, that it was only hurting me. So as I began to understand those principles, then I began to really work on making the true attempt to forgive my stepdad, to forgive myself, to forgive my mother, to forgive those who were involved in that abuse. And to fast forward, when my stepdad passed away, my mother was still married to him that whole time. So I had to deal with him all of my adult life until he passed in 2007. And the day of his passing, it was my mom's birthday, and we were all there celebrating my mom's birthday, but my stepdad immediately passed away after my sister left. And something came over me as my mom, my sister, and I were there next to him. And all of a sudden he collapsed and something came over me. I remember just this whole energy came over me. I remember taking off my sweater, and it was just like Jesus was there. And I began to pray, and I asked that he forgive me for what I'd done to him. And then I asked that I be able to forgive him. And so I started doing Reiki on him and assisting him through the death process. And it didn't take very long. He died rather quickly. But something just came over me. It was like the sense of empowerment came over me, and that I knew I had to do this because I didn't want to really move into the next relationship in my spirit life, being able to still have that karma with him. So it was as if Christ was helping me and helping him. I don't really know for sure exactly what all happened that day, except I just felt this powerful energy overcoming me. I remember my sister saying she didn't understand how I could do that for my stepdad. My sister still holds a lot of anger and resentment towards her dad, because that's her dad, for what he had done to her. So he had been abusive to all of us in a variety of ways. But she couldn't understand how I would have the strength or the courage or the wherefore to do that. To this day, she thinks that's odd. And so many people don't really understand the power of forgiveness. They don't understand the message of forgiveness. They simply don't understand that it's important to let go. And so for me, that's what I needed to do. That's what happened. And I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity because it was a real blessing. Because for many years, I'm sorry to say, but I hated my stepdad. For years, I hated him. And he was not really a very kind person. But in that moment of his passing, I had shifted, I had evolved, I had changed, I had learned, I had grown, and I was able to do that. So I was really, really grateful that Jesus and all the spiritual beings who had come to assist me, grateful for that opportunity. When my mother passed, I had a better relationship with my mother, but there was still, of course, some residual anger towards my mom through the years. And when she passed, I had a beautiful, beautiful remembrance when she was in the hospital and we were holding hands. And she was cold, and so I asked them to get her a warm blanket. And being the mother that she always was, she also asked the attendant to give me a warm blanket because she knew I was cold. And we were holding hands with our blankets. And in that moment, it was like mom was taking care of me, I was taking care of my mother, and any anger that I had for my mom staying with my stepdad or not having the strength to leave him or not being able to support me through that abuse was all forgiven. That was like the best moment of my entire life with my mother. It's really emotional. I'm surprised I'm not crying right now because it was really, really emotional. The best time ever was at the time of my mother's death with my mom. It was like I knew she loved me. I knew I loved her, and all was forgiven. So it is important today now as we move through these changing times, as there's a lot of anger that's being emitted out, that Spirit has said to us and has told us that this quarantine, this energy, this virus, all of this energy that is coming now forward as we're in quarantine, this is a time for us to purge, to heal, to become right with our soul, to be able to move forward and to clear all that no longer serves us. So today I wanted to bring this message of forgiveness. So I want to share from this book, Alana Fairchild Crystal's 444. I love this book. I want to share some of her teachings with all of you. And then I want to go over my chapter in my book, The 12 Master Teachings of Forgiveness, with you today. I'll go ahead and take any questions that you might have at the end of the show, getting closer to that. I will take them regarding the information that's been given today about forgiveness. And if you have a personal question about how you need some help, I'll be glad to help answer that. I'm not giving readings, but I'll again give that general information to you. So thank you again for being with me today and being open to listening to this and receiving this into your heart. So if you can, just take some deep breaths, begin to close your eyes, and allow your breath to fill you up with a vibration of peace and love. and allowing yourself to begin to feel this energy of a pink light merging into your heart. Simply allowing any feelings that you have about those who've harmed you to begin to rise up within you. Begin to breathe, release, let go, let God. And simply allowing this pink light, this growing deeper and stronger into your heart so that you're able to open your heart chakra, so you're able to forgive. And so as this beautiful, beautiful pink light begins to open and glow within your heart, begin to release any anger, fear, sadness, sense of unworth, blame, shame, guilt. And just begin to allow the pink ray to begin to heal your heart as you begin to listen to this expansion and to begin to feel the joy and the peace and the transformational light of healing. And so today, as you begin to open that beautiful energy center of your heart chakra, may you say to yourself, I receive the divine blessing of my own soul, awakening in my heart. I see the inner light of the beauty of me and the light and the beauty of all those who have transpired against me, who have trespassed against me. And I receive this shift of consciousness, and I receive this shift within my heart to bring divine love to all who have hurt me and to myself. I receive this divine blessing from my own soul so that I might transcend all the pain, all the suffering, and be at peace. And so it is. Now it is 111, be at peace. So today, as we begin to understand the concept of forgiveness, it is a way to have greater forgiveness is to cleanse the heart and the soul, bringing more mental energy as well as emotional peace and satisfaction, improving our relationships in the present moment, especially our relationship with ourselves and with the divine. So if we want to be over or heal from a relationship or a person without forgiving them, it is like walking away from someone handcuffing us. The action and the desire are incompatible. Many people resist forgiveness because of what they think it is asking of them: to be made wrong, to be made weak, to not expect justice, or to be entitled to be heard, validated, and acknowledged for the suffering they experienced. In truth, forgiveness brings us quite the opposite. It delivers us with empowerment, higher understanding, compassion, and resolution of suffering. Forgiveness is the action that which we say, hey, you did hurt me, but I choose to take my power back and be spiritually responsible for myself. I'm now calling my spirit back from with you and this situation, looking for the part I played in it, and with honesty and self-respect. When I find it, I'll forgive myself, and I'll forgive another, and I'll let go. I now choose to forgive you and forgive myself and be free from this situation. And I pray that you too can be free. Sometimes when we try to forgive, really genuinely want to, and yet cannot. Perhaps we're not ready. Accept that, and that's fine. I believe that is because we're putting the cart before the horse. Forgiveness, when we are ready, quickly happens. It is a natural flow of energy that happens when we have assessed compassion. We just forgive. It is spontaneous, deeply and genuinely felt and permanent. We don't forgive 1 minute to be angry and the next be happy. If that is happening, then the forgiveness hasn't happened yet. Healing comes in stages. We want completion because it's actually what brings us freedom from needing to go to another round with this person, either in this lifetime or karmically in another lifetime. And so the forgiveness is really about healing yourself, freeing yourself, releasing yourself. Genuine forgiveness is freeing. It is a lesson completed. It requires us to do the inner preparation, to do the inner dance within ourselves. That means our feelings and giving our side of the story a voice. Letting ourselves be heard, validated, and recognized for what we felt and experienced without having to judge the other person or make them wrong or evil, but just with compassion and empathy, showing compassion for ourselves and another. You have to really accept and acknowledge what you experienced and be willing to feel and express the feelings. You'll need a lot of self-talk and help to look for the part you played in the situation and be strong enough to admit to yourself about yourself that you may not like what you are receiving or feeling, or what comes to you is your part. If you do this process and you do it deeply and you begin to truly ask the angels to help you to purge those emotions, then you can be healed. It is your choice. Yes, this can take time. Again, forgiveness is like an onion with layers and layers of emotions that come up. Try to accept and be comfortable with your own uncomfortableness. Transmute the energy. Breathe, release, let go, let God. Simply when you begin to feel angry, just breathe, release, ask it to be transmuted into peace. And when we are heard, we are in a position to manage and to navigate our next step. Some of the examples are through journaling, talking to a good friend, crying, expressing ourselves in ways that are responsible, by allowing and sharing our feelings, our emotions, their pain, our suffering. What really matters is that we give ourselves permission to feel and to know that we are in control of our emotions. We can either let this anger, these emotions, this hurt control us, or we can move on and be at peace. If we're not feeling compassion, then we can't see the full story, because this is all about compassion for ourselves and for compassion for the other person. Because if the other person was at peace, if the other person was whole, was kind, was loving, was a whole individual, they wouldn't harm another person. So they're suffering. Perhaps they've been abused. Perhaps they've not been able to deal with their own anger, and so they're taking it on another person. Again, we don't want to continue to perpetuate the cycle. The cycle of abuse stops with you. So know that the other person may be struggling, just as you are, in dealing with issues just as you. To realize and accept that this is not to create excuses for the other person, but to hold the other person in compassion as much as you can. This helps you distance yourself and detach yourself as a sensitive individual that you are, truly learning the principle of forgiveness. The process of releasing energy that does not rightfully belong to you and reclaiming energy that does requires strength of character and strength of mind. Otherwise, you will not be able to have the detachment that you need to the other person, and you'll continually to perpetuate the anger. When you're not judging another, you see more clearly. You'll have to be prepared to see things realistically. This may be brutal to you to be able to see, or it may be most difficult or painful to be able to see someone else's perspective, but it's possible. So you may actually see someone who's harmed you as a scared little boy or girl in a grown man or woman's body who is terrified of feeling the pain and rejection from his mother again if he becomes vulnerable. You may be a sensitive woman with a deep fear of abandonment, trying to seduce and charm all around you by preventing yourself from really being vulnerable as well. So you see the energy of vulnerability in each soul is, in a sense, rearing their ugly head. The other person, perhaps, that's abusing they're vulnerable, and so they're acting out. You, on the other hand, are vulnerable, and so you may be retreating, you may act out in anger, and yet you both are still vulnerable. And so holding compassion for the entire situation, praying for guidance, being able to see the higher picture, the higher understanding, and know that your soul is helping you to grow and to evolve. When you understand that you're able to shift from this, then that's a part of a soul lesson. We've all come in, as we've talked about before on this show, about the soul lessons, that we've all come in with the people, places, and things, our soul family, that we have lessons to learn with. Even those who've abused us, or even those individuals who've come who are strangers or acquaintances that we come across, there's a reason and lesson for all things. If we can step back, step forward into our own power, and begin to see that this person is a mirror to us, that they are our teacher, they are our messenger, that we don't have to do the dance with them. We breathe, we transmute, we let it go, then we move into that space of peace. This is the true energy of forgiveness. So once again, I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes if you can. Focus on your breathing, and once again be aware of that pink ray of light. Now, as you come into the vibration of forgiveness, visualize and allow the pink ray of light coming into your heart, carrying the prayer, may all beings be happy and free. May I be happy and free. May all those who have hurt me be happy and free. As this energy comes out of your crown chakra, moving this energy out of your heart into your crown, may I be happy and free. May all beings be happy and free. As you say the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian prayer, I am sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And so as you allow yourself to fully feel this energy, keep repeating, I am sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. For this is a dance between two souls. This is a dance between two individuals. So this key in forgiveness is the key to your own happiness and to your own peace. So I love this book, Crystal Angels 444 by Alania Fairchild. And so that is on page 295. And the corresponding meditation is on page 298. So I want to go over and read a bit about the chapter of Forgiveness with Christ. As I said, tomorrow night I'll go over this chapter, and we will be teaching this lesson in my monthly class, my monthly teleconference class. So if you have any interest, again, you can contact me at leachapin@gmail.com if you'd like to join our monthly class. It's a lovely teleconference class. We have a nice group of individuals, 15 to 20 folks. It's a small group, but it's a lovely, cohesive group where we're all studying these teachings and principles. Dearest children, is an exemplary being who understands the lesson of forgiveness, for it is the hardest lesson of all to learn. As I, Christ, help you to understand the power of love and forgiveness, the power of unconditional love is most important to understand as you begin to embody unconditional love into your being. You can begin to learn to forgive. As I lay upon the cross, my message to all was simple. Forgive me, for they know not what they do. As much as I physically suffered upon the cross, I had truly risen far enough in consciousness to understand the true meaning of love and forgiveness. As I ask each of you to simply look deep within yourself and begin to forgive all those who have trespassed against you. My Blessed Mother, Mother Mary, was the one who taught me about unconditional love and forgiveness. As a family, she would take us into the circle of love, and we would simply hold hands, connect deep to Mother Earth and to the four elements. And we would allow ourselves to release all fear, judgment, pain, and sorrow. She taught us if we entered into the circle of love, then the power of the four elements would transform our pain, and we would be set free. So I ask you at this time to call in the four elements, the wind, the water, the fire, and the earth. If you're feeling judgmental or having a bitter or unforgiving heart, simply allow yourself to enter into the circle of love with my mother and myself and bring the power of the four elements into your being. As you learn to ground yourself into the love of Mother Earth, breathe in the energy from the crown chakra, breathing the energy through all of your chakras into the soles of your feet, and begin to feel the energy of divine Mother Love begin to heal your heart. As you begin to practice holding the power of love from Mother Earth and all of Great Spirit, you shall begin to allow yourself to move into the energy of forgiveness. It is truly about letting go and letting God and allowing your beautiful light to shine. Forgiveness is difficult, and many are reluctant to release their burdens, bitterness, and pain. But simply allow yourself to open your sacred heart of mercy and compassion so that you may have a compassionate, merciful heart and truly feel the love of God. As you open your compassionate heart to the world, understand all is in divine order. It is simply about forgiving, letting go, and letting God. As you bring the energy of forgiveness through your being, begin to feel a shift within your own consciousness as you understand there is no need to be angry or afraid. There is only love. There is only allowance. It is by allowing and forgiving that you come back into the state of oneness and the energy of love and peace to which you were created. As you embody the energy of love and forgiveness, allow God's tender mercy to begin to heal your heart. Allow God's love and light and peace to enter into your being at its fullest as you hold the essence of the light of who you truly are. As you open to the beautiful gifts of love, peace, and forgiveness, then and only then can you begin to embody the gift of joy and love that you bring to the planet. As you hold light within your being and love within your essence, begin to radiate the energy of love, peace, and forgiveness, which is so needed upon this planet. When I walked upon the planet 2,000 years ago, my message was indeed about love, forgiveness, acceptance, and allowance. Many did not understand the great design of what was to take place and what I'd contracted to do in my lifetime. I chose to be an example of forgiveness and love for the people to learn the principles of the Father. I sacrificed my physical self in order to bring the lesson of love and forgiveness onto the world. I was fully aware of the great design of what I was to do, yet comprehending that I would be laid on the cross and knew that I would suffer. I was not to symbolize, nor was I, the Lord and Savior, as so many have felt I was, to save people's sins. I came as the living Christ to help you, to teach you love and forgiveness, and to embody and embrace these principles into your physicality so that you may grow in spirit. It is unfortunate many continue to hold anger within their hearts regarding my crucifixion and also regarding so much that has happened throughout the course of time. I came to teach you. I, Christ, came to teach you to look beyond the physical and rise up and ascend in higher consciousness, higher teachings, higher understandings. Simply that all is in divine order and all is as it should be. As I've said many times before, I would not want to go through the physical pain again, although it was necessary from my crucifixion that this occur. I hold no anger or judgment against those who have harmed me. Understand it is necessary to release your anger, as it does not create justice and balance for anyone, let alone for yourself. Many souls have been persecuted, many have been harmed and injured in my name. I was one among many who was sacrificed by the hands of another. I forgive those who harmed me through the prayer of love and forgiveness. I ask you each to hold the power of love and forgiveness within your system, vibrantly and powerfully, so that you can begin to heal and to release your pain. It is indeed a gift of great joy when the releasing of this anger with the energy of forgiveness come forth, as it simply frees you to live your life as you were intended, free to be, free to love, and free to serve. Through this lesson of forgiveness is an important one. It is so difficult for many to comprehend and to understand. Many people hold themselves bound by their own emotions, to their own anger, to their own hatred. The concept of forgiveness is difficult for most to understand, simply because they feel that the other person has not been held accountable. I simply wish to tell you, my children, that if you hold on to this lower frequency, you will be the one to suffer, not the other. It is like giving yourself poison and expecting the other person to die. Holding that bitterness and anger within you only harms you. How many times are you emotionally triggered by a raw emotion that continues to purge from your own physical being? As dear Cryon says, time is of the essence and there is no time to waste. Do you wish to be a part of the problem, or do you wish to be a part of the solution? What I mean by this, as long as you hold on to your anger and pain, you will remain in suffering and be a victim. And dearest children, you are not victims. You are powerful, spiritual beings of light who have the power to transmute and to control your emotions and to live from the higher conscious thinking and being. I must tell you there are no victims or perpetrators, for this is a hard lesson to learn. Simply understand that all is in divine order regardless of what you understand about your life, your pain, your sorrow, your misery, your suffering. Your soul knew exactly what you were entering into when you chose to incarnate into this lifetime. The soul's journey is not an easy one. I simply had come before you to help you learn to love, forgive, and move forward so that peace may prevail within you and upon planet Earth. It is truly about letting go and letting God. It is truly about letting go and letting God. Simply beginning to transmute any and all hurt that you're feeling. It is truly about letting go. Forgiveness truly frees you and allows you to be in a state of harmony, balance, and peace. When humanity learns to forgive, there will be peace in the hearts of mankind, and peace shall prevail upon planet Earth. Dearest children, breathe in the energy of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a real vibration. That's why Christ, when he brought this book to me, said that all these teachings hold a powerful vibration. It is like subliminal healing. When you read the book, when you listen to the audio, this embodies into your energy. It begins to shift the vibration, and then you begin to be able to access and to receive the gift that Christ is giving to you about forgiveness, peace, joy, all of the lessons. So once again, dearest children, breathe in the energy of forgiveness within your very essence. Allow me to help you to clear these energy frequencies which have been held within your memory, within your cellular memory, through this lifetime, through all lifetimes. Breathe in the energy of love and the energy of forgiveness as you forgive yourself and forgive those who have harmed you. As you move into a state of peace, balance, harmony, and love, bring the energy of forgiveness within you so strongly and fully, for in doing so, you are set free. Again, let go, let God. For many, these truth teachings may be difficult to understand or even to embrace. For those who are ready will come, those who are ready will listen, and those who are ready will embrace my teachings. As you embrace the lessons of love and forgiveness within your being, you will become all-encompassing as your heart shall open to peace. As you allow this energy to move through your system, feel the peace, the balance, the harmony, and the love. It is simply about freeing yourself from negative emotion, pain, sorrow, guilt, shame, or blame. As you become free of negative emotions, you will draw closer to oneness with the Father, and peace shall enter into your heart. As you master and begin to embody the lesson of forgiveness, do not be afraid to live in joy and the remembrance of who you truly are. Dearest children, know the totality of who you are is truth, and the energy that you hold and carry is peace and love. The power of love will bring peace to planet Earth. Your love, your power, by shifting your consciousness, by shifting your emotion, then you will be able to be the change you wish to see. You will be the change you wish to see. Instead of being angry, be at peace. As I've spoken about the lesson of oneness, this is a previous chapter, understand you are sacred spiritual beings. The energy you hold and carry within your thought form, within your body, within your mental and emotional system is sacred. If you are full of hate, bitterness, and anger, then where's the balance? Where's the peace? Where's the love? Where's the balance and harmony in one's life? Remember, dearest children, you are a spark of God. You are co-creators of your own life. Your mind, body, and soul are sacred. Remember, dearest children, that you are perfect just the way you are. Accept the grace of God's light within your being. You are perfect just the way you are. Dearest children, remember, each of you have a responsibility not only to yourself, but to Mother Earth and to all of humanity, to hold and carry the energy of love within your mind, body, and spirit. Then bringing peace and balance to Mother Earth shall prevail. Those who misunderstand forgiveness, those who feel it only lets the other person off the hook or absolves them of the wrongful act, will only hurt themselves. As you open your heart to forgive and love someone who has hurt you, this frees you and brings you back into balance. If you wish to be a true peacemaker, if you wish to be a way shower of God's living light, if you wish to ascend in consciousness into this new age of enlightenment, then forgiveness is truly, truly, truly an important lesson to learn. Dearest children, humanity must return to a balanced and harmonious state in order for peace to prevail upon planet Earth. As you hold peace and love within your being, then you bring the energy of love needed for the balance of Mother Earth. If you hold and carry energies of anger, hatred, mistrust, then this energy is brought forth to planet Earth. Many do not understand that Mother Earth is a vibrant living being, and she absorbs your pain, your anger, your hatred. So be responsible steward of Mother Earth and transmute your own emotions. Bringing peace and love to this planet is what is needed. What affects one affects another. As you live your life in peace, love, and balance, you have an enormous opportunity to make a difference, not only in your own life, but in the lives of others and the planet at large. These truth teachings are for all the masses and for all who are ready to listen and grow in spiritual consciousness. Do not allow yourself to be confused of what you do not understand. For dearest children, allow yourself to feel the energy of joy and peace as your heart begins to heal. And so, dearest ones, I wish for you to understand that what you each hold and carry is the energy of God's light and love within you. I wish for each of you to be the change you wish to see, and to know that my life, Christ, was an example of love, peace, allowance, and forgiveness. And I'm here to help you through this book, as well as through my light and my love to help you to heal. Truly, forgiveness heals all. And so, dearest children, go forth in understanding that all is in order and all is as it should be, so that you may live in joy and remembrance of who you truly are. You are all one with the Father and all one with creation. For humanity must come together in unity for this planet to heal. Peace, love, and unity will once again return to planet Earth. Mother Earth is the planet of love as she loves each of you so deeply. And so allow yourself to honor and love yourself, giving yourself this beautiful gift of grace and healing as you move into this state of peace and grace. If it is difficult for you, just continue to ask Christ, your angels, your master guides and teachers to help you to be at peace, and continue to bring, again, any prayer of forgiveness, perhaps the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian prayer. I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So as I said before, as we're going through these times, and it seems as if in some ways the world's gone mad and everyone's angry, and people are feeling this, their voice of being able to express themselves. This is good. From the Me Too movement, from the Black Lives Matter, from all the injustice of the migrants who've been held in cages that have come from the border, from all those who have been harmed, those who have been in human trafficking, child slave trade, all the atrocities that have happened and are happening on our planet. This sadness is pervasive. This pain is real. And yet the greatest gift that we can give is to get clear within ourselves, to be a bright light, to be able to be the change we wish to see. So if I had not been able to transmute my pain, and my pain as a child and as an adult, and I still have residual pain, if I didn't go through that process of forgiveness, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you. I wouldn't be able to be a psychotherapist. I wouldn't be able to be a spiritual counselor. I wouldn't be able to help bring these books out, because my anger would be too prevalent. My anger would just be too, would still be ruling my life. I'm not saying that I don't have residual pain, because I do. I'm still evolving and changing like the rest of you. I'm not trying to be something I'm not, because that's not who I am. I'm just here to show you and to share with you that it can help you. It did help me. It really changed my life. And I really remember that day my friend Cecilia told me, did I want to do the dance again with my stepdad? Did I want to reincarnate and come back to be with him? And that was the impetus. I was like, oh, no, I don't think so. So my goal is always to be as pure and clear as I possibly can in this lifetime. I remember saying that when I was young, before I started metaphysics, when I was 26, probably even before I discovered the abuse, that I wanted to clear as much as possible in this lifetime. Not that so that I didn't have to come back, but simply because I could, I'm taking questions here, so that I could be at peace. So I just got a message from, I think it was Linnell, who said she really loved listening to that message. Thank you, Linnell. Jared, I know you had a question about your mother. If you could put that up again. I saw that you had put that up and I wasn't able to see it. But my point is that this is really, really important for all of us so that we can be healthy, we can be strong, so that we can be physically vibrant and bright light workers in this world. So if you need assistance, with forgiveness, please think about joining my class tomorrow. Again, or picking up my book is available on my website, is available also on Amazon. And I do have it in audiobook as well on my website, which is leachapin.com. So I will go ahead and take any questions. I know we have about 20 minutes left. If not, I always have something to say, as they say. Usually not, I'm not lost for words oftentimes, sometimes, but generally not. So Mr. Jared, I know you had a question about your mother. I didn't pick it up, so I didn't see it there. If you're still with us, send that out to me again. So I just want to go ahead and take any questions that anybody might have, or any comments, again, about forgiveness. I know it's difficult. I know it's a concept that's difficult. And if anybody wants to share a bit about, how difficult this might be for them. Let's see, I see. Sorry, I have to see my glasses. I was very angry as well. So glad I learned to widen my filter. Oh, Linnell. Okay. Oh, all right, Linnell. Linnell, were you able to, well, tap in again. Were you able to widen your filter just recently, or was this new? So that was my question back to you, honey. Were you able have you been studying with this principle of forgiveness is what I was asking. Because it takes time. It's layers upon layers. Energy will come forth. I see a question from Karen, so I have to look inside. Why the African Americans are feeling the rage and feeling abused, how they can forgive in this moment. Oh, okay. I'll answer Karen's questions, and then let's see if Linnell pops back in. I wanted to finish that thought. There you are now, in the past year. Oh, okay. Thank you, Linnell. All right, good. Yeah, it's so important because it really frees us. Karen's questions was wanting to know why the Black Americans, their anger. Just like all who've been persecuted, not only the African Americans, but the Native Americans, the Jewish individuals, indigenous tribes around the globe, even as Christ, talks about his persecution 2,000 years ago. This anger really is, it's collective. I feel that it's in the collective consciousness of the soul family or in the soul group. So this is a part of a general healing of the collective. Karen was on my show. She was the author 2 or 3 weeks ago, The Descendants of Rygod, where her dad was a Holocaust survivor. And she talked about the Jewish community having that suppressed or anger that, again, is systemic or generational. So I think that's the same thing, that these atrocities that have happened, the abuse that's happened with not only the African Americans, but like I said, other indigenous people, you can see the injustices from all groups. Somehow we as Americans, or we, as a race, somehow are afraid of each other. And that's what concerns me, that we come together in unity, that we acknowledge the pain and suffering, and we hear the voices of it, but we help our brothers and sisters to be at peace by being in unity. So for us to hate the police officers who's trying to maintain order, to be able to be angry at all the folks that have hurt us in the past. Jared is saying, as my mother is a very difficult person and has done a lot to hurt me in the lifetime, I've attracted other women like her in my life. So clearly there is an unresolved pattern. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second, Jared. Sorry, I have to peer in, people. Can't see. That the key is being able now to recognize that these injustices, this anger within us, through the collective consciousness within our DNA, through our soul pattern, that it's our responsibility to heal that. We've come in with these life lessons. So I'm I feel, I'm not sure because I can't say exactly, but I feel that the souls come into the group with collective karma. They come in with collective lessons. So if we begin to heal one person at a time, that heals the collective karma. So as Karen begins to heal the energy and share that energy out to the world with her community, with her Jewish community, through her book, through her movie, through her teachings, then each one teach one, each one lead one. That's what I'm doing today. Whoever receives this information, hopefully this will help them, so then you can pass this on to help another. We are paying, in a sense, forward what we have learned. So as this energy begins to be brought out today, we can hold the space of love for all the African Americans, our Jewish community, our Native Americans, the Hispanics, all those who have been hurt throughout time that have been harmed by man. Because this planet is the planet of peace and love. And as Spirit says, this planet will return back to the planet of love and harmony. We probably won't see it in our lifetime, but we are here as the change makers. We are here as the peacekeepers. We are here infusing this energy with our energy, anchoring that light, anchoring that energy, so this planet can return. So when I leave this planet, I want to be an anchor of light that has served and given all that I can give with my light to help bring peace to the world. If that is what you wish to do, then that's your, perhaps that's the legacy that you wish to bring. So Jared had asked about his mother being difficult to him and that he's attracting the pattern of others. So it's important at this time, Jared, that you just begin to breathe in the vibration of peace and then just call in only those energies, only those people, only those vibrations that support you, that love you, that acknowledge you. And every time you feel that anger and feel that injustice towards your mother, send her love, because the two of you have come together as part of a soul family. You've come together with doing that dance where perhaps she was the dance was she would show you your power. This is what I'm hearing, that she, her behavior was there to show you your strength. That not to succumb to being a victim and to be angry, but to rise above it. So the lesson for you was to, again, to empower yourself. I'm seeing another message from Jared, sorry. I would like to forgive her and feel at peace with the relationship, but I don't think it's possible to have a relationship with her at present time because her heart has hardened. And so it's okay. That's all right. You don't have to have a physical relationship, but you can change the dynamics. You can change the energy. You can shift your energy with her. Like I talked about before with my mom at her deathbed, that was when I felt the closest to my mom. That's when I could really feel the love of mother-daughter, that whatever anger I had towards my mother through the years had been transpired. It was never discussed with my mom. I never told my mom I was angry at her. I never had conversation about that. But I worked on myself, and that changed the dynamics between me and my mom. So energy is energy. So when you change it within yourself, then you'll be able to change it within another. So that would be my suggestion, is that you begin to really focus on healing and asking forgiveness with your mom, that dance there was between the two of you. And that you, again, now just ask for that karma to be cleared, that you ask the angels, the masters, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, whomever, the God essence, to help you to shift that connection so that there can be true healing, so that you can feel that peace within your heart. We know when we have that forgiveness because we're not triggered. So now when I talk about the abuse that I've had, it doesn't feel like it happened to me. I'm not triggered by that emotion. I'm not triggered by those memories. It's if it's over here, somehow compartmentalized, not in denial, but in a place where I've moved on from the raw emotion of it. In the early days, I cried a lot. I was really angry. And now it's like I'm casually talking about the fact that I was sexually abused by my stepdad. I'm not being cavalier. I'm just saying that I'm able to heal the wounds from that. I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm saying to enough point where I don't feel like it really is affecting my life, and emotionally I can have compassion and feelings for other people, but I'm not triggered by that anger. For example, I was watching on television, excuse me, those girls, I think it was on 2020 the other night, that were from Ohio, those 3 girls that were abducted for 10 years, Amanda Berry and Michelle Knight and Gina DeJesus, I think her name was. And I wasn't angered, you know, but I felt really sad for them. And so, you know, maybe before or with somebody else, it just would trigger a lot of anger. Because how could that happen? How could that guy do that to these girls? And yet you could see the strength in these young ladies and the power of their spirit, what they had endured. I mean, it was amazing. So my point was, it's like it didn't draw up all that anger within me. So I know that my abuse had been healed to, a certain degree, because I wasn't angry with it. I felt compassion for these ladies, but I could see their strength, and my heart, went out to them for what they endured, and that, they had the courage to go through everything, and they're still out there telling their story, and I don't want to say surviving, but they're living their lives now. So God bless those souls. But yet we see all the pain and suffering. So again, it's about being able to love and hold compassion and not be attached to the outcome. To hold that space of love. We can be greater serve when we come from a place of peace and love. So that's what I would say to you, Jared, as well, that as you come from a place of strength and you begin to heal that within yourself, then we become stronger. It's the same with all those who are protesting, all those who were protesting, those also in the Me Too movement, and now with the Black Lives Matter movement, that, okay, we tell our story, but do we let that story define us? Do we let it rule us? Do we let that to control us? It's controlled us long enough. That, again, is important to realize that you can be effective by being at peace. You can be effective by being a change maker. So I'm really, truly, truly grateful to my spiritual mentor and teacher, Cecilia Kelly, for teaching me these principles in the early days, because I was a mess. I have to say, I was a mess. And it's taken me a lifetime. I'm 64 years old. That was 26 when I discovered it. Now I'm 64. Still growing and learning, still finding that self-love and that self-worth and self-value within myself. But I know the difference. So again, these principles and teachings are valuable. And again, I love this book, Crystals 444, with her forgiveness message and those prayers. Those are really, 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 really lovely. So if you have the inkling to begin to allow yourself to forgive today, once again, consider taking the class tomorrow night. It's on forgiveness, and or purchasing the book. Again, it's on my website, leachapin.com, both in print, it's an ebook, and it is in audiobook format. The lessons, the energies are subliminal healing from Christ. That's why he brought those messages forward. In 2003, I brought those messages. So I remember writing the book and having it come and thinking it was so small. But he said, don't underestimate the power of these teachings. They are my teachings. They are the energy, the essence of what I brought forth 2,000 years ago. So if you choose to be the change you wish to see, instead of being angry and allowing yourself to get caught up in the emotional climate and the chaos of what's happening, begin to realize that you have the power, you have the energy, you have the peace to be the change. So today, as I leave you with these messages, I would just like to leave, we just have a few minutes left, I'd like to just leave a small prayer for each of you from Christ, so you can bring this energy into your heart to forgive. So, Father, Mother God, we once again ask to call forth the energy of Jeshua as he steps forward to bring his words of wisdom and healing and guidance to these beloved souls. As always, Father, we surround ourselves with love, tenderness, compassion, mercy. In this we give our grace, and so it is. Greetings, dear one. It is I, Christ. As I step forward to each of you, I place my hand over your heart and ask that you begin to breathe in the vibration of forgiveness. Begin to breathe in the vibration of forgiveness. Begin to breathe in the vibration of forgiveness and be at peace. Simply know, dearest children, that as your heart begins to open and as your mind begins to be healed, that your heart now is receiving my love, my peace, as I infuse the vibration of forgiveness into your being, so that you may be a pure, pure, pure vessel of love and light, holding the energy, holding the essence, holding the divine grace of all that is, preparing yourself to receive, preparing yourself to receive, preparing yourself to receive. May the love of God surround you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you wherever you are. God is, and indeed all is well. Prepare yourself to receive, prepare yourself to receive, prepare yourself to receive. Go in peace. And so it is. And so it is. So next week I will be traveling, and I will be going to New York, the state of New York, and then I do have a live event in Erie, Pennsylvania on June 30th from 5:30 to 7. So if anybody's in the Erie, Pennsylvania area, please join me. I will be at Stoneworks Wellness Center with Sherry Sigler. She is hosting me, and I will be discussing my book, The 12 Master Teachings of Christ. She has a study group there. I believe it's twice a month with her small group. So we'll have a small group, and I have been asked to be a guest speaker there. So I am excited about finally getting on the road again and being able to teach in person. So this is really exciting for me. So I'm so excited. So I won't have my show next week, but I'll have it in 2 weeks. And again, every Monday morning I channel the mystical teachings of Mary Magdalene and Joshua is a teleconference class. If you want to join that class, you're welcome to. I do post those teachings out on Facebook in written transcription, and then you can find those messages in my audio recording on my YouTube channel. Just Google Lea Chapin, LeaChapin YouTube. And so remember, if you have any interest in my work, you can go to my website, LeaChapin.com, and allow yourself to receive the blessings of the Ascended Masters through my spiritual channelings and teachings. I do private readings for people accessing the Ascended Masters and the celestial realm, combining my work as a spiritual psychotherapist with my work with spirit to help people with their life challenges, understanding the greater aspects of their life from their current perspective. And again, my book, The Divine Union, The Divine Union, The Love Story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, is available on my website, LeaChapin.com, both in ebook, print, and audiobook. So thank you again for being with me. Again, please be the change you wish to see. Call in the vibration of peace and forgiveness in your heart. Go in love, go in light, and blessings to you all. Namaste, and I will see you in 2 weeks, and we will see what guest I will have then. I think I'll have another guest. I'd like to change it up with having some guests versus my own teachings, but thank you. Blessings to all, and just live in the joy and the remembrance of who you are. So, namaste.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.